Hello, boils and ghouls, it's finally Halloween. Life's a witch, and so am I. I hope you all have been enjoying Halloween horror extravaganza. I know I have. And on today's special Halloween episode, we are going to be taking a look back at the classics. The first films in the 4 biggest horror franchises. And we're not going to be looking at the praise of these films. No, we're gonna hear from the Halloween Grinches. Yes, today we're gonna be reading 1-star IMDB reviews of horror classics. I gotta take off my gloves. Hold on 1 second. Alright, now we can look. First, we're gonna take a look back at 1984's Nightmare on Elm Street. When you think of horror villains, Freddy is right at the top of the list.
Please, God.
This is God.
But not everyone agrees with that. It has a 7.5 rating on IMDb, but there are several 1-star reviews, so let's see what they have to say. Oh, this review is pretty recent, just April of this year. It says, the scariest part of the movie is the 80s clothing. This movie was terrible. I know in 1984 it was a cultural staple, but if you are considering rewatching it or viewing it for the first time, just don't. The acting is terrible, none of the characters deliver their lines with appropriate emotion, the costume design was even worse except for the one moment when Freddy cut open his stomach and organs oozed out. Nancy's parents were awful. I agree with you there.
No, baby, I'm gonna stop drinking. I just don't feel like it anymore.
I wish they had died, in all honesty. Truly, all I can say about this movie is that it wasted 93 minutes of my life. That being said, it was still better than The Shape of Water. What's wrong with The Shape of Water? This is one from 2014 that says, yes, absolutely, I could do better. I've seen the golden hours light bathe shoppers in a grocery store, what wealth and given so freely, seemingly without consciousness. I don't know what that's in reference to. This movie is a piece of shit. Just like all the other ones. If you can love these movies, then by all means do so. Just don't do it around me if you please. No, for me, I like my horror movies to be great. You know, like worth seeing. The fans of this movie and its ilk are lucky, lucky people. Well, thank you. This movie and its franchise horror movie kin are able to give to them something that I can never have. Aww. Whatever it is this movie gives me, it cannot match the time I lose seeing it. It is an unequal exchange, and I want back whatever it is that I have lost. I think you're projecting here.
Yeah, sure.
Wow, this one was just from a couple weeks. This is just a week ago. Someone is very angry, and they use all capital letters. The title of this review is Big Spoiler, Not Epic, Very Sad, Gonna Go Cry, Saddest Movie, 1 out of 10. So, some big dumb writer decided to kill Johnny Depp. You don't kill the Depp man kills you. Woo! So, this movie actually 0 out of 10, but big dumb IMDB won't let you rate 0 out of 10. I rate IMDB negative 563,245 out of 10. Thank you. Sincerely, Cool Kid Gaming Reviews. Big Johnny Depp fan.
Miss Nude America's gonna be on tonight.
Well, how can you hear what she's going to say?
Who cares what she says?
Doesn't like how he went out. I think he went out with a pretty cool fucking death. Alright, we're gonna move on to the next one. Friday the 13th. 1980. A couple people are here pissed because there's no Jason in the movie. This movie called Friday the 13th, but no Jason? Where's Jason? Isn't Friday the 13th about Jason Voorhees? I don't see him here. Everything is cheap in this movie. Wasted my time.
Oh, what monster could have done this?
This one says awful. Just awful.
It's got a death curse.
Of the three big slasher movies, this one, Halloween, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, this is by far the worst. And that's saying something, considering the other two ain't so great.
You know, you're beautiful when you're angry, sweetheart.
This film is just plain awful. Painfully boring for the first part, it slips into unintentional comedy punctuated periodically by the least scary murder sequences you can imagine. How this became a supposed horror classic is way beyond me. I don't see how anyone could appreciate this film or even call it good cinema, which would imply this is art. The day this is considered art is the day the world ends.
We weren't doing anything, we were just messing up.
Worst of all, this film inspired a million other awful films. Thanks a lot, you awful movie.
Are you crazy?
Oh god, I love horror.
You'll never come back again.
This one says, what the hell was I thinking? I don't know, but you left this review, so we're gonna read it. So this is the one many have said to have rocked the world of the horror genre in 1980. What the hell was I thinking in watching this? I've sat and completed the whole movie for 95 minutes and I felt violated.
Look what you did to him!
I kept pinching my hands just to stop myself from falling asleep. Wow, horror movies of the 80s, in particular the low-budget ones, seem to be a suckfest. The movies seem to have the same basic plot. The movie starts off with a bunch of teenagers congregate simultaneously somewhere remote to celebrate and break off into couples. One by one, a mysterious person kills them in some odd or strange way. Now you're getting it? Often there's a throwaway character or two who's obviously labeled as a bad person and they get killed first or whatever. Finally, we get to the ones who weren't doing the nasty and they usually survive long enough to set up the sequel. I've read a comment here that says the greatest slasher star is born. They spelled that out. Greatest slasher star is born my ass. Everything is simply boring, everything is simply predictable. Come on! I can't believe that the movie's worldwide gross revenue was $59,700,000. What the hell? It was just full of ch-ch-ch, ha-ha-ha, a few sex scenes, plus knife, plus slits throat, plus ch-ch-ch, ha-ha-ha, plus creepy old woman that looks like she's a bit late for her own funeral equals what the hell was I thinking in watching this? That pretty much sums up the whole movie. And we're gonna read one more for Friday the 13th. This one's titled Talk, 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 Talk. My hat's falling off. It's a cheap ass hat. Oh my god. How this film is worshipped and loved by so many people is a sign that our futures will horribly fail. I don't think you can pin all that on Friday the 13th. I think there's a little more to it than that.
You never paid any attention.
The whole movie is sex talk, sex talk, kill, sex talk, sex, kill, sex talk, kill, 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 sex talk, sex, kill. And how such fit and healthy teenagers can't fight or run from a middle-aged woman is just unrealistic, no matter her weapons. She's got the weapons of surprise. No one expects the middle-aged woman. On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is certified fresh by critics, but how can that be said about such pointless waste of a film? Any normal human being with insight can see that this film is nothing but a money spender. Money spender? Sorry, fans. It's okay. Fucking hat. Alright, now let's move on to a 90s slasher. Let's take a look at Scream.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
1996. It's got a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDB, but let's see what the 1 stars think. This movie is stupid. All horror movies are. The dialogue is so cringe and it rips off every horror movie from the past, all in the name of homage. That was kind of the point.
This is standard horror movie stuff.
Prom Night Revisited, man.
The worst movie in history. I would expect teens or children to see it as beautiful. I don't know about that. I feel sorry every second of my life. Again, I think this person is projecting.
I am sorry if my traumatized life has an inconvenience to you and your perfect existence.
The story is ridiculous. This one says waste of time. Most of you have already seen this movie, but for those who haven't, this film is shit. The acting is too funny to be scared at. It has the usual girls running around screaming and tripping over things. It has the crappiest killings ever. Wow, stabbings, scary. The garage door killing was awful. I love that kill. I like Wes Craven's movies, although I prefer Jason to Freddy, but this should never have happened. 1 out of 10. I'm struggling with this hat. I'm about ready to chuck it. We'll do one more, and this one's from 1999. Simply titled, This Movie Sucks. And, and it's so not obvious that it was written in 1999. Good God, was that supposed to be scary or something? This is the perfect movie for your 14-year-old acne-infested, can't-get-laid MTV-watching loser of a child. I'm sure they will like it. Maybe they can watch it after Dawson's, or the new Seventh Heaven, or Saved by the Bell. What a waste of videotape. 1 out of 10. Unfortunately, 0 is not on the list. Alright, we're gonna move on after that one. For our last entry, we're gonna take a look at the OG slasher. Yes, I'm talking about 1978's Halloween. Let's see what people think. It's a joke. It's all a joke. Mother, forgive me. We forgive you.
Compassion's overwhelming, Doctor.
I like watching old horror movies, but this movie is really mocking with our intelligence. Mocking with our intelligence.
So who cares? I always forget my chemistry book and my math book and my English book and my French book.
Actually, a movie has a good start, but it can't hold it until it's final. Please somebody answer me. There's a man who's trying to kill you with a knife, and you could stab him with a skewer, but you prefer to lie him with knife on the ground? But let's say that you are in shock so you can't think logically. Then the same man with the same knife follows you right to upstairs, and with luck you stab him again with a hanger. Then you could stab him with his knife. After all you are thinking, and you decide to put knife to ground right next to him and turn your back to the killer who can walk although once stabbed. If it's not a joke, what else could it be? Your grammar?
The only thing that ever bothers me is their gibberish. When they start raving on and on.
Insult to intelligence and a movie that leaves trace on the brain due to the amount of stupidity. A trace of what? Maybe this was scary in those years, although I do not believe people have evolved so much in intelligence in such a short time. I'm really disappointed in the whole movie, and I cannot believe that this is a so good graded horror movie. Total waste of time. And he follows that sentence up with about 50 exclamation points. This is a horror if you watch it on large amounts of LSD or something like that, tied up to a sofa with no possibility of turning the TV off. Now that sounds like a horror movie in and of itself. This fucking hat is driving me fucking bonkers. Alright, let's try it that way. Let's try it that way. On the 38th anniversary of the most overrated movie of all time, let me say that at 16, when this movie debuted and I wasn't supposed to be allowed in, it was something else. Seeing it years later as an adult, probably 20 years ago now, I recognize it as one of the worst horror movies ever made. It is devoid of any thrills, chills, or suspense. It is stupid beyond belief, and I had to register a score to help put this in perspective. John Carpenter made 2 good films. Only 2?
What is this?
What are you talking about? Only 2.
Why that piece of shit lied, I don't know.
The Thing, yeah, and Escape from New York, not for lack of trying. If you give this movie a 10, please watch it again. You might be surprised to find your memory has failed you. This one's titled, oh, this was just a few weeks ago too. Overrated slice of nostalgia. It may have been original in concept, but it was slow, predictable, and tedious in execution. How were 7 versions squeezed out of the initial story? That's a mystery that we're still trying to figure out. The film doesn't age well.
It's your own fault, and I don't feel a bit sorry for you.
This is a review from 1998. One of the worst movies ever made. The only movie worse than Halloween is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Well, maybe there are a few movies that are worse. It is not remotely scary, and the acting and dialogue would be right at home in an Ed Wood movie. Oh no, a guy in a Halloween mask is driving around in a station wagon. Oh no, he's in my house. I better run to the closet. Ridiculous. Halloween H2O is a vast improvement in every way possible. Halloween is very lamer than Friday the 13th because only 3 murders are committed in this entire movie. And John Carpenter gets fans and money for it? Oh, he gets a lot of money for it. Pathetic. Nightmare on Elm Street was more interesting and scary, but pretty stupid at times. The lighting isn't very good either because we barely see anything, and we can tell that it's a comedy. The scene with Bob and that other girl just shows it all. Also, the scene where Laurie fell down the stair rail is a lot more funnier. Again, the main should either be Michael or Loomis because females just annoy the hell out of me.
Help! Oh God, help me, please!
Get this movie out of my life. Get you out of my life.
What is it? Go right upstairs, get Lindsay, lock the bedroom door. Do as I say! Hurry!
On that note, let me put my glove back on. All these films we talked about today are classics and giants and a must-have in any horror library. Don't listen to the naysayers. I hope all of you have enjoyed Halloween Horror Extravaganza. I know I did. So have a wonderful and safe Halloween and pleasant dreams. Well, that is gonna do it for this final video of Halloween Horror Extravaganza. So this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.
Thank you.